I just appreciate the opportunity to talk about our program. Anytime you have a chance to promote your program, it's always a good thing. Some of you I see on Tuesdays for Quarterback Club, and we kind of give you a rundown of the week's games. Today I thought I'd take a chance to maybe go a little more in depth about our program and maybe highlight some things about our kids and some things that maybe we do different that we try to set us apart from other programs. Just a little background on myself. So Tammy and I have been married since 1990. We've got three children. One's a senior, Riley. He's number 10 on our team. If you got the chance to see us play. We've got two daughters that are in middle school, 7th and 8th grade, Maddie and Callie. They look like their mama, which is a good thing. Riley looks and acts just like me, which is, it's a curse.
They're all taller than you, too.
They're all getting taller than me, that is for sure. I don't let Riley know that, but it is probably a true story. We've got a couple of dogs, Magic and Jordan, little small dogs. They're about 7, 8, 9 years old. My mom, fortunately, when we moved up here last year, my mom moved in with us, so that's been great to have her with us. We're all attending Methodist Church, and my mom in the past has been a Methodist minister and then was in the accounting business for years, so it's great to have her around and her get to spend time with the grandkids and then take care of Magic and Jordan for us. We've been a few places. Our trip to Alva has been a windy one. I had a player that played for me at Ulaga years ago in the 90s. His name was Tyler Walden, a little red-headed nerd that played at Northwestern. That will be on the net, hopefully. He played at Northwestern for Coach Battisti, and I can remember the first time I drove him out here from Ulaga, which is over by Tulsa, and I'd been in contact with Coach Brown, who was the assistant at the time, and so he said, "Hey, you want you to bring him out here to play so Coach Battisti can see him." So I was like, "Sure." So me and Tyler's dad, we got in the car and started driving. And we started driving. And we kept driving. So we finally got out here, and Tyler got to play that day. When we walked in, there was a big 6'8" kid. I think he was an All-American here. His name was Mario Woodson back in the day. And I told Tyler, I said, "Tyler, if you get on his team, throw him the ball." And so, fortunately, Tyler got on his team, and every time down the floor, Tyler was throwing Mario the ball. So, at one point in time, there was a break in play, and I saw Mario go by, and Coach Battisti said, "Hey, Coach, I like that kid over there." And so, Tyler ends up playing 4 years here and gets a college education. In fact, he came to our Fairview game. Him and his wife came to our game Friday at Fairview, so he came and watched a couple games last year. So that was our introduction to Alva, and Alva's always had a good name in basketball circles throughout the years. And Tyler ended up, after he graduated or finished with basketball, worked for Coach Schieber for a year, and so I kind of had a tie-in with Coach Schieber a little bit. So when the job was open a couple years ago, we were looking for a place to one, raise a family, and then two, win some ball games, which was my son's biggest interest. And so looking through the state, we felt like this was the best boys basketball job that was available at the time. Unfortunately, through a series of events, we were able to land the job, and it was a really good fit for us. I feel like we've been a really good fit for the Alva program. Our style of play fits what our kids need to do. And we were fortunate last year and had a really good year. We're going to try to repeat that, hopefully with a little bit longer play, another week later, hopefully this year. But so here we are in Alva. As he said, I'm coaching girls softball as well. I'm coaching soccer in the spring. So I have a full plate, but that's what we do. We're about kids and working, and so we don't know anything different. If we had time off, we wouldn't really know what to do with it. So we spend our anniversaries on the softball field, usually in August and somewhere. And this year it was in Woodward from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, and that's just what we do. But we're excited about our program this year. Just a little bit about last year. We were 22-4. I was fortunate to step into a program that had some returning players, really good kids, and they had been working hard and taking their lumps as young kids, and so we were able to win 22 games last year. We won the O'Keene tournament beat Hennessy, who was ranked in the top 10 at the time. In the finals, we went to the area tournament on a Friday. We got beat out. The next week is a state tournament. That's really our goal this year, is to try to get to that next week, playing Oklahoma City. We have 4 starters back. The only player that we lost from last year is Colby Dietz, and he was a really good player for us. Colby probably exceeded expectations of mine coming in. It's always tough on seniors with a new coach, and I thought he just jumped right in and was a good leader for us. I miss him. He still comes to games, and I hope he continues to do that. So, but last year was really fun. Our kids really had a good time. Things just fell right for us. We had 3 games that ended on the last possession, and we were fortunate to win all 3 of those games. We scored and then defended on the last possession 3 different times, and they didn't score. So some years you have those times where those games go your way. And hopefully, if we get in those situations this year, we already had once and it didn't go our way. So hopefully the next couple times it will, if those situations arise. At the present time, we're 6-2. Our girls program is 7-1. It's the Plugco Smith. We're 6-2. We're ranked number 9. We were started out the season number 4 in the coaches' rankings. We played at Blackwell on 4 practices because football, fortunately, was in the second round of the playoffs. And that's a good problem to have. But our football kids are just now starting to get into shape. You can see our 2 bigs, Kate Flater and Riley Hess, are starting to feel better. Every day in practice, you can see them jumping a little bit higher and run a little bit faster. And so as they get in shape, they're just going to get better. Reagan Martin was hurt in football with a high ankle sprain, and he practiced yesterday and the day before. A little slow because he hasn't really done a whole lot since whatever week 4 would have been. Because in football, he went a couple weeks off and then tried to play, and then a couple weeks off and tried to play. So when football was over with, we decided just to sit him for a month, or however long it's been since football, and then we'll get him back in the mix. So that'll help us out on both ends of the floor. Like I said, right now we're number 9. We won a tournament at the Chisholm Trail Expo last week, the week before. We wanted to play in that building because that's where our playoffs are going to be, and it's kind of a different venue. If you've been in that building during a basketball game, it's really not a very good venue for basketball, but it's kind of a mini big house, which is where the state tournament's played, so we felt like it's important to play there. And fortunately, both boys and girls teams were able to get to the finals, and we had a little better finals game than they did. They played Okarche, who was number 1 in girls, and they were really, really good. So, but the girls played well, and we were able to win. So our kids are excited. We went to Woodward and got beat, led the whole game until the last, I think it was 3.9 seconds or something, and then got beat. And Woodward is awful good. They beat Enid by 20 last night at Enid. So Woodward is awful good, and we beat them twice last year, and then should have beat them this year, and then we'll play them again at our place. Our first game back from break will be against Blackwell. Blackwell is now 7-0, so they beat Tonkawa last night, who's ranked in the top 10. They came back and beat them. So Blackwell is a lot better team than we anticipated, and they're having a really good year. But we'll try to get them back when we come back. Well, I'm thinking about schedules. I have schedules, and on the back is a Weed Capital tournament, which is the first tournament back from Christmas. I think I've got 20 of them, so I'm not sure how many to make, but I'll leave them up here at the front table so their schedules, and then the Weed Capital has boys and girls brackets on there, so you guys can pick one of those up if you would like. The tournament is January 10th, 11th, and 12th. Our first game back is January 8th at home against Blackwell, so that would be a really good game to come watch, and hopefully Reagan will get rolling in. We're going to scrimmage a couple times over the break, which is not something I usually do. Well, with Reagan being hurt and bringing him back in, and we have a long break. We played December, was that 13th or 14th, and we don't play until January 8th, so that's a long break. So we wanted to make sure and try to keep in shape, and so we're going to scrimmage a couple times. We'll go over to Moreland and have a multi-team scrimmage over there. We'll see Moreland and Beaver and Glencoe and Arnett and some teams, and then we'll go to Morrison on New Year's Eve, and we'll get Pawnee, who's top 10, and Glencoe's the top 10 in Class A, and Morrison, and 2 or 3 other different teams, and then from there we're going to take our guys and go watch OSU and Gonzaga play that evening or that afternoon at Stillwater. So that'd be a good day for my kids. Some things just to give you some inside information about our program, maybe answer some questions that have been out there, I don't know, but just start with some things that I do that may be a little bit different to try to get our kids to really buy into what we're doing. We give out birthday cards on our birthdays. Sometimes I send them to the house, sometimes I just throw them in their locker, school locker or their locker in the locker room, just give them a birthday card, just so they know we're thinking about that. Let's see what else we got. Our kids, well, I'm thinking about, as I mentioned, some things our kids have done. We do, our Black and Gold does cardboard is one of the main fundraisers that they do, and over the summer our boys had helped smash some cardboard over the summer. That was a good community project for them. We had several of them show up to do that. They went to Longfellow. Coach Sheever, who was the principal at that time, had a school-wide picnic to start the year, and the basketball teams went over there and played with the kids and hung out. And then we also have in the past went over to the food bank and helped pass out food on the once a month that the community food bank passes out food, and we've done that a couple times. Our kids really were apprehensive at first about going over there. Coach, what are we doing? But then afterwards they're like, Coach, we need to do that again, because they really had a good time, and they really got to see a need that Alva has that they really don't get to see for the most part. And so hopefully we'll be able to be part of that again. I know that they've branched out and have got some other groups involved too, some Northwestern teams and some other community groups, so that's a good thing, because I don't know how they did it without the help. If you haven't helped with that food bank yet, you might want to check on that. It's once a month that they do that, and it's a pretty good deal for our community. Game day dress, this is what our kids wear on away games, khakis and these polos, so all of our kids show up to school with khakis and polos on when we go on the road. So when we walk in the gym somewhere, we walk in, they all look the same, look nice, shirt tails tucked in, and they're like, Coach, these shirts are big. They'll tuck in, don't worry. But I've had several compliments on our kids and how well they look, because most of the time, if you see the kids at school, they're wearing sweats and a t-shirt, and so this is a nice for them to dress up and go. On home games, they just wear jeans, and then we have a team t-shirt that has Go Blood Basketball on the back and a saying on the front, a saying on the back, and I'll talk about that saying here in a minute. Leave times, if we're leaving, I don't say 3 o'clock, I'll say 3:02 or 2:57, or it's just something I picked up along the way, and kids will remember that. They don't forget 3 o'clock, but they'll remember 2:57. I don't know if anybody else has worked for somebody that does that or not, but it just gives them something to think about. We practice every day at 2:40. Anybody be welcome to come watch practice. We go from about 2:40 to 4:30. As the season progresses, we'll practice less time. The hay's in the barn, so to speak, when you get into January and February, so trying to keep legs. We've taken teams, we went and watched OSU play. We're going to take both boys and girls teams to watch a Thunder game here in a couple weeks. That'll be a fun trip to Oklahoma City, back on a bus with 45 of them. We'll go watch a Thunder play. Schedules and week capitals got that. We do camps in the summertime, little kids camps in the summertime. We had about 60, 65 campers this summer. Just to plug that, we'll do sponsorships. So on the back of the camp t-shirt, we'll put business names on the back, and we'll be sending out letters again. We had a tremendous response last year as far as that goes to help sponsor our camp and help pay for those t-shirts. We will, this clip that I have on, I was leaving the house this morning, I said, where's my clip at this morning? And my wife was like, babe, it's not a game day. And I was like, well, I just wanted to talk about it because it's something that we do on a game day. All of our varsity players and our guy that does the film and my daughter who's a water girl and the coaches, I buy these clips. They're a couple bucks at Walmart, and I put a piece of tape on them and I put their numbers on them, and they clip them on their bag, and then when we go into the locker room, and I'll talk before the game. Not a big rah-rah guy, we've already talked about it. Our team is really, they're not the roller coaster kind of team. If you watch us play and watch them, the way they act, it's really good because they're no up, they're no down, they just kind of play. And they're the same way in the hallways, in the classrooms, and I don't have loud kids, I don't have, well, besides mine, they're just playing. So I think it's been a real, it really helps our squad out. We don't have that one kid that we rely on. We don't have that temperament that we have to worry about. Our kids just just play. But so we'll go in and pregame, and I'll cover whatever I need to cover, and then we'll gather around in a circle and we'll hold hands, which is can be sometimes hard to get a bunch of guys in the ring to hold hands. But we'll hold hands, and then I read about Pat Summitt. She was the women's coach in Tennessee that had to retire, but she's won a few games. And one of the things that they do at Tennessee is whenever anytime that they have a team huddle, they get in a circle and she makes their feet touch. So whoever's standing by me, the outside of their feet touch, and so the circle is enclosed as one. So you're always looking for corny stuff to do as a coach, and so when we went to the tournament at OBA, I just implemented that as well. So when we pray, we hold hands, and then our feet are touching as we go. The other night at Fairview, in their locker room, was kind of a weird shaped visitor locker room, so we were it wasn't a circle, but we had a couple guys that were spread out. They could touch feet. And Tyler was even there, like I said, at the game the other night, and he came in the locker room, and I said, hey, if you're here, jump in. And so he's jumping in there, but our feet will touch to kind of just make a complete circle, and then we have these clips, and again, just another corny idea. We get done praying, we'll say the Lord's Prayer. I've got a kid that'll start that, and we'll say the Lord's Prayer, and then I'll say my hand down, man down, which I'll cover, and then we just put these clips all together. So I just stand there, and everybody starts clipping on their clips, and it goes on. So we get whatever it is, 16, 20 clips all together, and it's just kind of a symbol of we were one, and now we're going out together to go play. And so we hang our clips on. I buy new clips every season. This year, kids are like, I got it. No, that was last year's clip. This is a new year, new everything. So we have clips.
That's not corny. That's cool.
So it's just so if you wonder why the clip is, that's what that is. And so I've got players from past years that that's what they carry the car keys on. It's the clip that they've had from and so it's kind of. And when somebody forgets their clip, they really the kids get on. So and my own daughter, if she forgets her clip, it's a crisis. Some other little things that I do during timeouts, they have to sit in certain seats during the timeouts. So we don't have to go into specifics, but my point guard's in the middle, and the guys sit in a specific spot, and when you first explain that to them, they're just kind of like, really, coach? But you watch them when they come out of there, sometimes it's musical chairs as they're trying to figure out who's supposed to be where. But it's just some little thing to make them focus and be prepared whenever we're talking in timeout. If you've been to games, you might have noticed I have some issues sometimes, some OCD issues of some sort. Only in certain areas of my life, kind of like basketball, and that's might be it. But I'll straighten up the chairs before the game. I'm sure at least one person in here has noticed that. It's just and my assistant is the same way. My assistant's the same way. In fact, we had to host some games from the small school tournament at Northwestern a couple weeks ago. We hosted some Saturday games in our gym. So Coach Warren and I went Friday night, and we got back from, I don't remember where we played, somewhere. So we went to the gym to make sure everything was ready, and the chairs were just there, And so we didn't even say a word. He started on one end, I started on the other end, lined them up, and we walked out of the gym because we just feel like that when you're getting ready to start, everything ought to be right, And so after that, I don't mess with them. I line them up the first beginning of the game, and then I don't worry about it anymore. But it's just kind of so those gyms that we go to that the chairs are either connected or there's no chairs at all, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough because there's nothing to straighten up. On the back of our shirts, I talk for a living. That's what I do. So I'll finish with our saying on the back. Otherwise, some of us got to go back to work sometime today, I think. But on the back of our shirts, it says "hand down, man down," and we have a banner. Our parents bought a banner, so in our locker room we have a huge banner. It says "hand down, man down," and what we'll do is, starting with this group, we'll have the seniors sign their name on that banner every year, and so we'll get full of names. But the "hand down, man down" is a saying, and I'll just read. This is from Google. This is actually from Wiki Answers, but it says the phrase comes from boxing, in which if you drop your defense or your hands, you're going to be knocked out. In basketball, it translates as if your hands are down while defending a shooter, he'll be able to shoot over you, and then you're the man down. So if you've seen our team play, you know, we're not afraid to shoot it. And if you're not guarding us, we're going to shoot it and we're going to make it most times. We've got some kids who really can shoot the basketball. So that's what the hand down, man down means. If anybody's ever saw that on a t-shirt or one of me and my mom, people asking her what it means, and she's like, I'm talking to the wrong family member. You need to talk to somebody else. But so I just Googled it, and that's what it comes from. Plus, I just think it sounds cool in a timeout because, you know, instead of saying team on three, 1, 2, 3 team, or hustle on three, 1, 2, you know, I just say hand down and the team says man down. So if you were my team in here, as soon as I get done talking, I would just say hand down. You all would say man down, and we know it's done. On the bus rides, we get to the bus, to the game, the girls get off, the girls' coaches get off, and we ride, Coach Gill drives our bus, and we ride to wherever we're parking. I don't ever let them get off at the door. And we ride over to where we're parking, we'll let the ladies off first, and then I get up and say a couple things, and I say hand down, they say man down to get off the bus. You know, it makes it easy. I don't have to have them all in a huddle to finish something. I can just say hand down, and any of my players know that if I say that, then they say man down, and it's time to go. And on game days a lot, I'll text my guys, send out a mass text, because that's how you communicate with teenagers nowadays. And I'll just send out the words hand down, and then my phone will just start buzzing with man down for everybody. So cool. Our kids are really fun to watch. Cool. Sometimes I'm fun to watch. But they just don't sit behind the bench because I'm a walker, so you kind of miss the game if you sit back there. I'm a squatter as well, and my legs were hurting after the first couple of games because I hadn't done that in a year. So, but hopefully we can represent Alva well and keep continuing to do things right on and off the floor, make good grades and those kinds of things. Our team GPA is above a 3.5, which is a testament to the kids. You know, we have a goal. We've lost 2 games already, and last year we didn't lose our second game until the last game of the regular season, but I told them that doesn't deter from where we're trying to head. We had a later start, and we've got some Ray missing, and we're not using any of those excuses. Those are ball games we should have won, and we're going to try to continue to win those games as we go. But hopefully when we get to the end, whether we reach our goal or whether we don't, our kids had a good experience, and they're going to be better people for playing from it, because I know that I'm a better people for being around our kids. If you know our kids at all, they're really great kids. I love getting on the bus with them and going places, and they always represent you guys and the community well, and that's a testament to their parents and family. But hopefully you enjoy watching them play, and I appreciate you giving me the chance to come and promote our program. Thank you.